Hey Titans, this is Captain Yeet here for you for another Teen Titans episode review. This is going to be season 3, episode 6, titled Spellbound. So, let's get into it. So, this episode starts off with Raven and she's reading a book, and while she's reading the book, they actually animate what she's reading. So, what is she reading? We don't know the title of the book, but there's this guy named Malachor. He is fighting this gigantic dragon. We don't get the name of the dragon, but Malachor looks like this. I think the only other time I heard the name Malachor, if I'm not mistaken, is that giant evil dragon from Spyro. If you guys know what I'm talking about, this is Malachor right here. That's his name, right? The giant evil dragon from Spyro that they brought him into Skylanders. It's Malachor. That was his name, right? Because every time they said Malachor, I'm like, yo, that's that dragon from Spyro, ain't it? Anyway, Malachor is fighting this huge evil dragon. He's fighting it. He's on the rope because this dragon is very powerful. He has his own little spell incantation, sort of like Azarath, Mentor, and Zinthos. He has his own little incantation he has to yell out too. And eventually he thinks he kills the dragon. But no, this dragon is very, very powerful. The dragon uses his tail to grab Malachor. It's trying to do a flame blast in his face. Malachor's like, I gotta do one last spell to take this thing out. He's finna cast it, and then the Titan alarm goes off to go fight a bad guy. So Raven's like, she's reading, she's getting tense, and oh, you gotta be kidding me. Okay, come on, let's go. She's like, all right, let's do this. Let's hurry this up. So she gets up to go to the Titan alarm, and then we get the theme song. And let me skip to the part I'm at. And the theme song is English again. I think last week was Japanese. No, the week before that. Like I said, if we're only on episode 6, so the Japanese theme can have a few more episodes this season. It can catch up because season 1 it was even mostly of English and Japanese theme. Season 2 it was mostly English themed. They did have a bit of Japanese themes in there, so English is getting ahead of Japanese theme. Season 3 it's been mostly English, but Japanese has had a few episodes, so it could catch up this season if we get a few more episodes of Japanese theme. Anyway, we cut over to the park, and there's this gigantic medical heart called Cardiac. And I'm like, okay, that's pretty smart, because cardiac arrest is made by the heart, will affect the heart. I think, don't quote me on that. I'm not a doctor, I'm not thinking doctory, but I'm pretty sure cardiac arrest is your heart. Anyway, it's a gigantic medical heart with these tentacle tubes, and it's in a park, and it's trying to kidnap some kids. Obviously, the Titans come, they start to fight cardiac arrest. Well, no, I mean, it starts to fight Cardiac, and I've never seen this villain before in my life or even heard of it, so I'm guessing this was only made for the show. I'm guessing this is the only time it's ever showed up because it looks pretty ridiculous. Look at this thing. This is Cardiac. It looks a bit weird to me. Anyway, all the Titans are here. Cardiac under arrest. Like, yeah, come on, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, we get to see some cool team attacks when we see them fight Cardiac. Cardiac can regenerate. So we see Starfire grab Robin's leg, spin him around, and throw him. And then we see Cyborg land on Beast Boy's head. And, well, he's a T-Rex when he does it. Lands on Beast Boy's head and just shoots. So I'm guessing those are quote-unquote team attacks. But, all Starfire really did was throw Robin. But what else can you really do, Besides, what else can you really do besides that? With Cyborg and Beast Boy, all Cyborg really did was hop on Beast Boy's head. I guess it was pretty cool team attacks, but at the same time, I'm like, I guess. I guess. Anyway, Cardiac, it's pretty strong as you saw. It can grab T-Rex Beast Boy and fling him around. It can just swipe Waving Array. They were having a pretty tough time with this villain. We did get one cool scene with Raven disappearing into a Raven construct with her powers, and Starfire came out of nowhere and boom, chucked her. I'm like, okay, that's what I'm talking about. Raven disappeared, Starfire came up and just went wow, and Cardiac is pretty strong. Raven does get pretty mad and says, okay, I'm done with this. Does Azarath, Mentor, and Zinthos, puts her dark energy onto Cardiac and just rips it apart. Everybody's like, okay, we did it. All right, team. All right, let's go. And we see big pieces of Cardiac just land all over the park. We see a few pieces land in the sewer. And we see Raven hop into the T-car. Super fast. He beats the villain, hops in there, put his seatbelt on. She goes, okay, come on, let's go. Everybody's like, all right. I guess let's go. And then we see the camera pan underground into the sewers, and it goes into nighttime, and we reveal that, yeah, Cardiac, he's still alive, and he's regenerating as we just saw. As we just saw when Robin cut off his arms, boom, he can like suck them back into himself and regenerate. So he's still alive. Put the towel back on. So Raven goes back to the book, right where she left off. This guy's gonna cast a spell, and then she hears a knock at the door, and it's Robin. Robin like, yo, Raven, are you okay? As soon as we get back home, you know, you ran into your room and locked the doors. You talk about anything? She goes, no, and slams the door. She goes back to her book. She's reading, and then another knock. So she goes to a door again, and it's Starfire. She goes, I just went to the mall of shopping, and I found these little hair thingies you put in your hair. Do you want to? No. And slams the door in Starfire's face. That was a bit mean. I mean, Starfire just looked really happy just to hang out with Raven, and she said no. I mean, obviously Raven wouldn't want to do this, but this is what Starfire looks like with a bunch of hairpins in her hair and just trying to do her hair up. But Raven didn't want to do it. Anyway, Raven goes back to her book. She's reading. He actually casts a spell. The book is like, who's going to win this struggle? Because the dragon does his fire breath. But then, boom, another knock at the door. And her hair gets like super wavy and just goes crazy in the air because she's so mad. This is what her hair looks like. And it's Starfire. It's Beast Boy and Cyborg. They want Raven to referee a new game they just made up. This new game is called Stink Ball. We don't really know the rules. We don't even know how it's played. All we know is it's a ball and it stinks. And it's made out of socks. And we see that smelly aroma coming off it. So you do not want to get hit by this thing. You don't want to get hit by it. Anyway, obviously, Raven says no. She doesn't want to play this. Beast Boy, he gets really upset. He goes, come on, Raven, come on. Why don't you want to play? We need a referee. And she's like, no. And she slams the door. And Beast Boy goes, Raven, why do you gotta be so weird? Why do you gotta be so creepy? Always in your room, locked up in the darkness. And Cyborg's like, hey man, just chill out. She just don't want to play. Yeah, whatever. And Beast Boy and Cyborg walk away. And Raven, she starts to feel really sad. She clenches onto the book and she goes, I'm not weird. I'm just different. Well, no, specifically she said, I'm not creepy. I'm just different. I think Beast Boy used creepy specifically. I think he also said it weird, but the specific word she was like holding on to and making her feel sad was creepy. So Raven feels really sad, walks over to her bed. She starts crying and she goes, I'm not creepy. I'm just different. I wish I had someone here that understood the things I like. Like to them it's like weird and creepy. To me it's just normal. I wish I had someone here that understood me, that liked the things I liked. He starts crying, and the book says, I understand your pain. Obviously, Raven freaks out and throws the book to the side, and the book goes, ow. Raven like, did you just? He goes, I did, Fair Maiden, and you just threw me on my spine. Yeesh, my bad. Obviously, Raven is really freaked out right now, and we find out that this book is Malachor. When the story that Raven is reading is true. When Malachor did that final spell, it did kill the dragon. But at the exact same time, like when he was casting his spell, the dragon cast a spell on Malachor, and it was specifically a curse, not a spell. He cast a curse on Malachor. I said Malachor, didn't I? Anyway, the dragon cast a spell on Malachor to trap him inside this book after he killed him. And now he's been stuck in this book for the past 1,000 years. And Malachor can move the book around. He can make the book open itself and flip the pages around, but that's all he can really do. He can't really make the book fly around and stuff, but that's what he does. Raven drops the book off on a pedestal. The book opens by itself. The pages flip around until eventually it gets to Malachor's pair of eyes, and Raven goes, this curse on this book that you're trapped in is very powerful. I don't know if I can break it. He goes, that's okay if you can't break it. We can just talk. Raven's like, really? Yes, I understand you. Overheard what was going on. She goes, wow. And then we get like a jump cut to them like talking later on. And he goes, they wanted you to play Stink Ball. Yeah, you must be the luckiest girl in the world. And this Beast Boy, he sounds pretty smart. And she starts to laugh and Raven starts to yawn. And Malachor's like, hey, you need some rest. Go to sleep. Raven goes, do you promise me you'll be here when I wake up? Malachor makes a rose out of one of the pages. He goes, I promise. Raven walks up to the book. I thought it was kind of funny. I thought Raven was gonna pluck the rose out of the book. I honestly thought he was gonna. I honestly thought she was gonna do that. But the other part of my mind was like, if she does that, wouldn't that hurt him? Like that could be like whatever organ. But no, she just walks over to the book, closes it, and brings the book. Well, I keep looking to the side. I was gonna show you guys the rose, but it's just you guys seen a rose before. She walks over to the book, closes it, brings it to her bed, and goes to sleep. Then it's the next morning. And now that I've just been looking to the side for so long, here's the rose. I don't know why I was like panicking, like, yo, I gotta get this rose shot. Where is it? It's just a rose though. I don't know why I was panicking so much. It's just a rose. a book rose. Anyway, it comes to the next morning and Beast Boy comes over to Raven's room and he goes, yo, Raven, you in there? It's like noon and you haven't come out of your room yet. Are you okay? Look, if you're so mad about yesterday, I do really mean this. I'm sorry for calling you creepy. Raven? And Raven door... Oh, no. This is what happened. Malachor says, shh, if you just be quiet, maybe he'll go away. Beast Boy's like, huh? Who is that? And then Raven opens the door and she goes, what? Hey, Raven, I was just wondering if you were mad from yesterday and stuff. No, I'm fine. Okay, just checking in. You know, you've been asleep all day. I'm good. Closes the door. And then you hear Raven goes, okay, Malachor, he won't bother us anymore. And Beast was like, what the, Malachor? Who the heck is that? Like he's on the other side of the door. Like, who the heck is that? I knew I heard someone else in there. like, what are you doing? Anyway, Raven goes back into her room. She starts to cast a ritual to break the spell on the book. She somewhat breaks the spell, but not fully. All she can do is make all the pages into like a human body for Malachor, but she hasn't really broken the spell fully. And Malachor can't walk too far away from the book because when Malachor walked away from the book, he tried to touch Raven's face and his hand fell apart. And then when he walked closer to the book, the hand came back. He goes, I'm still bound to the book. This sucks. It's like, hey, we can still train. Like next like few scenes, Raven and Malachor start to train. Malachor starts to teach Raven everything that he knows and magic and stuff. He's manipulating her. Like I was trying to think of a good way to like say it, but he's like, because I didn't bring this up, but during the ritual scene, Raven's like, okay, I got all the ingredients in the pot before I cast the spell. I think everything's good. And he goes, nah, there's still one more ingredient. And he like makes a lightning bolt pop up, and it like zaps a piece of her hair, and it goes into the bowl. And she goes, what you do that for? He goes, that's the last ingredient. A piece of hair from a beautiful girl. She goes, beautiful. She's like, me? Beautiful? And then the next scene, like one of the next couple scenes, like I was talking about, Malachor was like, I can truly teach you everything that I know in magic so you can break the curse on me if you want to. She goes, yeah, of course. And we see like a montage where he's teaching her all the magic that he knows and like different spells. There was one scene where his head caught on fire and she's like patting it down, and he looks at her, she looks at him, and Raven like blushes and walks away. Like like he keeps keep giving her compliments, like flirting with her and stuff. I'm like, okay. Like I was like, the end of the episode, he's like, okay, I see your game. I see what you're doing. Anyway. I guess in this montage, the coolest things that actually happened was Raven was reading like 4 to 5 books back to back, and Malachor was like, hey, there's a faster way of reading this. And he tapped her head, and okay, yeah, here it is right here. She tapped her head, and all of the knowledge from the books just get zapped right into her mind instead of her having to like full on read it. And then we get a cool scene where she makes this huge, gigantic green raven, and like fireworks pop up everywhere. Oh, it's right here. Okay, I was like, I know this is coming up soon. Okay, it's right here. And like fireworks pop up everywhere while Malachor is teaching her, and he just starts hugging her. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, what is this guy trying to do? Anyway, Raven walks into the living room. Everybody's in the living room chilling, and Raven has her white dress on. Well, not dress, but her white cloak on that she had on when Beast Boy and Cyborg went to her head. Anyway, she's just chilling. She's humming. Everybody like turns around like, whoa. Robin like, hey Raven, how you doing? We haven't seen you in a while. Just everybody like, what's going on? We haven't seen you in a while. How you doing? Beast Boy goes, yeah, how are you doing? We haven't seen you in a week. And Cyborg grabs his head and just pushes it down. She goes, I'm doing great. That's fine. And then I forget who asked her this. I think it was Cyborg or Beast Boy. Someone asked her like, have you like been with anybody? And she goes, yeah. Wants you guys to meet somebody, but you can't meet him yet. And then Starfire was like, oh, I just can't wait anymore. I want to see Malachor so badly. I can't wait to meet him. He's trapped in a book. You have to find a spell to like break it and stuff. And it's, obviously, the first few parts, you can like somewhat guess, I guess. But obviously, Raven's like, how the heck do you know that part? Like, he's trapped in a book. I got to get him out. How do you know that, Starfire? And then everybody looks at Beast Boy, and Beast Boy goes, well, I might have been a fly on the wall. And he turns to a fly. And Raven goes, you're more like a rat, and looks at him. And then he turns to a rat and falls on the ground. He goes, what the? You made me morph. You morphed me. How'd you do that? And then the alarm went off. So they're like, Robin, yeah. Obviously, Robin's like, Titans, go. Come on, we got to go. So everybody runs out besides Raven. Beast Boy stops. He goes, yo, Raven, you hear the alarm, right? Come on, we got to go. So Raven's like, okay, fine. So C runs off too. And I was trying to say critical. It's not heart attack. What I just called cardiac. I was like, what I just called this thing early this episode? It's cardiac. He went to this random little girl's house, kidnapped her inside of his body. As you see right here, he literally sucked her up, and she's inside of his body. And when everybody sees that, Robin goes, everybody, hand to hand only. We don't want to hurt her. So Robin, Beast Boy, and everybody starts to fight Cardiac, but they're only doing a hand-to-hand combat because they don't really want to hurt the little girl. Eventually, after everybody gets shrugged off by Cardiac, Raven C pops up. She goes, this time when I break you, you stay broken. That was kind of cool, wasn't it? So she starts to put her dark energy onto Cardiac to like rip it apart, but then dark energy starts to spell out her mouth and her eyes, and it starts to cover up more and more Cardiac. And Beast Boy and everybody's like, yo, Raven, a girl. She's still inside of him. Be careful. And she goes, I can't stop this spell. I can't stop. So Beast Boy jumps up, hits Raven. So she goes flying and the spell despairs. Robin runs up, cracks Cardiac open and grabs a little girl. And Beast Boy goes, hey, what is wrong with you? And Raven looks really nervous and just disappears. This is like the scene where all the dark energy was coming out of her mouth and her eyes. And she looks really scared. And Beast Boy like, what is wrong with you? And she just goes back to Titan's Tower. So Raven goes back to Titan's Tower, and she's talking to Malachor. And she goes, that was dark magic. You've been teaching me dark magic. I was like, I thought Raven been doing dark magic. I guess this is like darker magic, I guess. Or I guess the power Raven's using is still good magic. It's just black, but it's still good magic. I guess that's what I'm guessing. But yeah, obviously she starts to freak out at Malachor, like, you've been teaching me dark magic. Malachor's like, dark magic or just magic? Just like you, when people think, to you all this stuff is normal, but other people it's creepy. To my magic, to me, it's just normal magic, but to other people it's creepy. You know this too well. We have to stick together. We have to break this spell on the book. To what people don't understand, they ridicule it and call it evil or dark. This is just simply magic. And Raven's like, I guess you're right. So Raven starts to do another spell on Malachor to release him from the book. And she does it. She's actually able to release him from the book. But while his body is starting to get released from the book, one of the pages in the book flashes in her eyes. And you see a dragon turn into a man. She goes, what the? And then we see like a huge air gust and she gets blown back. And she grabs another page and it says Malachor on the human and like whatever other name on the dragon, but then the name switches. Malachor goes on the dragon, and then the human name goes on. Well, the other name goes on the human. She goes, "No, you changed the book. Malachor isn't the human. Like the knight, the wizard. It's the dragon." And then, yeah, this whole time Malachor has been tricking her. It was actually the dragon. Oh, well, I'm stupid. when the dragon gets released, Raven starts to fight it. It throws it to the side, and then we see like its full body, but we actually see the full body again up in the air. So as you just saw, it burrowed through the ceiling, and now it's on the Titan's roof. Beast Boy is like, "Yo, Raven, are you okay?" She goes, "Just leave me. Get out of my room." Beast Boy's like, "Okay." So he flies up, and then we get the coolest scene. So Robin has 2 boomerangs in his hand. Starfire grabs Robin and throws him, and Robin clinks the 2 boomerangs together to make a gigantic sword, and he hits Malachor with it. I'm like, what? Since when can he do this? Look, he claps them together, makes a sword. I was like, since when can this Joker do that? That was pretty cool. That was dope. I really like that. Starfire, she starts to shoot her starbolts at Malachor. It doesn't do too much. Beast Boy turns into a T-Rex and starts to bite his neck like crazy. But he shrugs off Beast Boy. He shrugs off all the Titans with relatively ease. He does like eat he like chomps on Starfire. Obviously she's super strong, so she pries open his mouth, but then he does a flame breath at her, and she goes flying. Eventually Raven, she comes up and does Azarath Metro Zinthos and starts to fight Malachor. Eventually Malachor grabs Raven around with her tail, just like in the book when she was reading at the beginning, and he was like, Malachor says, "I used you, manipulated you. I don't need you anymore. I'm out of the book. You can never possibly hope to defeat me. I'm more powerful than you." And then he also says, "I taught you everything I knew." And then she goes, "Yeah, you taught me everything you knew. And I also learned a new spell." And she has the book in her hand. He goes, "Wait, no!" And then Raven does the exact same spell that the first guy did to put him back in the book. So now Malachor the dragon is trapped in the book again. And she puts the book inside of her chest and closes it. At first I was like, why don't they just burn the book? But I guess that could release it? Well, I don't know. Maybe not. But I guess it's just... Nah, I was going to say it'd be better just to keep it safe in the chest, but they could have just burned the book up. They could have just done that. They could have just like thrown the book in like some acid or something. But anyway, the last scene of this episode was really nice. So Beast Boy, he goes back to Raven's room, knocks on her door, and she goes, "What do you need?" And he goes, "Hey, it's me, Beast Boy." And I'm going to read the subtitles. "Look, I'm sorry." Raven like, "For what? You're not the one who..." And then Beast Boy goes, "No, I'm sorry that he broke your heart." That was nice. And she goes, "I know, it was all a lie. But he was the only person who ever made me feel like I wasn't creepy. And don't tell me that I'm not." Beast Boy goes, "Okay, fine. You're way creepy. But that doesn't mean you have to stay locked in your room. You think you're alone, Raven, but you're not." And Raven, she feels like shocked when he says that. Raven runs out, hugs Beast Boy. Obviously, Beast Boy's shocked. He starts to blush and push Raven off a little bit. And then Cyborg comes out of nowhere and hits him with a stink ball. Raven grabs the stink ball, puts a dark energy on it. It looks kind of cool. Look at this scene. That looked kind of cool. And then you just hear Cyborg go, wait, Raven, no, please." And you hear like a thud. He goes, "Oh, come on." And then that's the end of the episode. That was pretty funny. I remember the scene with Beast Boy and Raven at the end when they had that heart-to-heart as a child in my childhood. I don't remember everything else though. There's like the rest of this episode I do not remember from my childhood. But that one scene I do remember. I do remember that scene a lot from my childhood. And that's the episode. So, I guess I'll see you guys here next week. So like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you all later. I thank you all for watching. I thank you all for ever being wonderful human beings. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye. All right.